Welcome to the Rock School of Ministry. My name is Aaron, and today we have Pastor Roshni with us.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking about one of our upcoming courses, Biblical Relationships. So, thanks for coming in and taking the time with us today.
This is great. We get to talk to each other about the course we're teaching.
Yeah, because we kind of tag team.
We
do tag team.
Yeah. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you some questions about the first part, which is the restoration part.
Yeah.
And I think it surprises some people, number one, why are we even doing biblical relationships? What's your take on that? And then I can take off on it.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I believe we're doing biblical relationships in a ministry school is that the greatest commandment, Jesus said, is to love God with all of our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and then to love our neighbor as ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so right there, wrapped up in the commandment that Jesus says is our, we talk about a lot of times with our vertical relationship and our horizontal relationship. Mm-hmm. Well, Jesus says it right there. The greatest commandment is to have a relationship with God. And he says the second, which is like it or attached to it, is to have healthy relationships with those around you, right? And so if we don't have healthy relationships with people around us, we're not fulfilling the great commandment.
Yeah, and it kind of reflects our relationship with God.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And I was shocked when I came to the school that one of the first things was relationships. And I thought, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And it was really convicting because then I had to look at myself and my relationships. And that's what it's all about because God works in those relationships.
We can't walk through life and say that us and God are good and we have this trail of broken relationships.
Right, exactly. So what is the process of restoration in your classes? What will you be speaking about?
Yeah, so I teach part of it. It's the 8-week course, Biblical Relationships. You teach 4 weeks, I teach the other 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. And the 4 weeks that I teach are how to, I call it restore. Mm-hmm. So it's restoring broken relationships through reconciliation. And so it's about this process of, we look at the letter of Corinthians where it says that God has reconciled us, or we've been reconciled to God. Therefore, we are imploring or begging, other people to be reconciled also, first to God, second to each other. And so I take a really in-depth look about, one, just kind of taking a look at God's heart towards relationships, getting a new paradigm on what that looks like and what His heart is. And then 2, just taking inventory of your life and saying, are there any relationships in my life that are unhealthy that I would consider maybe fractured or broken? Those relationships that maybe you feel like you're on ice with, or you don't speak to each other, you're not on good terms, right? And let's assess those. And now what is God's heart for that relationship? How do you go through having a broken relationship and then reconciling it? How do you do that biblically? What's God's heart, but then what are practical applications? So I'll be sharing a lot of stories. I'll be sharing practical methods that people can implement in their own lives to not only restore all of their broken relationships, but then to walk forward with healthy relationships, to maintain those. Yeah. That's kind of my part. So, where do you go from there?
I think with every individual, the day we're born, we have that immediate relationship with our mom or our dad, or it all builds up to who we are today.
Yeah.
And with that, with every relationship, we walk in with a lot of experience. And good experience and bad experience. But we need to dissect a little bit, look at it more specifically to how is it affecting our present relationship.
Yeah.
So if I'm single, if I'm married, if I'm looking to get married, whatever it is, I need to know more about myself and how God's made me and how He's made me react to things or carry things. Like you said, if you don't release it. But once you do release it, then what? It's all encompassed. And let's face it, that in all these relationships, we need boundaries. We need to know what God speaks into that relationship. Mm-hmm. Is it good for us? Is it bad for us? And those are the kinds of things we're going to look at. And we're going to look at our love languages. We have love languages. And if we don't know what that love language is for people, then we're going to have trouble communicating that. So a lot of communication. We're going to talk about purity. We're going to talk about how exactly you can transform in yourself to have a better relationship. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. 8 weeks of
8 weeks
really understanding what relationship is, and under the Father's eyes, under God's eyes.
Now, I guess backtracking a little bit, Biblical Relationships course is part of our core curriculum at the Rock School of Ministry.
Right.
So any student who applies and enrolls as a student at some point is going to get this course. It's going to get this teaching, right?
Right.
The next time we're offering it is going to be October 20th, right?
Right.
And it's going to be on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
I would love to hear your goal of like what your desired outcome is for your students. For me, it's really for the students to get a fresh revelation of God's heart for relationships, and to be actively pursuing, or to begin actively pursuing restoring, a broken relationship in their life. That's kind of my heart or my goal for the 4 weeks that I spend with the students. What about you?
Well, for me, it's all about, sometimes we feel alone. We feel lonely. And sometimes that spurs us on to get into a relationship.
Yeah.
We need to be careful with that. Are we ready
to
get into a relationship?
That's good.
A lot of the time in the church, we focus on marriage so much that sometimes single people feel that, I have to rush into this.
Yeah.
And I would like them to walk away with, you are who you are, and God's timing is best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to understand, are you ready? Are you prepared? With anything, we need to be prepared. And I want them to be prepared, in a sense, for where they're at.
If you feel like you want to learn about how to restore broken relationships in your life, get a fresh revelation of God's heart towards the people that He's placed around you in your life, as well as discover topics on singlehood, marriage, dating, all those types of things, friendship, purity. If that's something that you're interested in, I would encourage you to go to our website, www.rockschoolofministry.com, where you can read more about this class and then enroll. Sign up today. God bless you guys. We hope to see you soon.